using R and RMarkdown to ease pain. That eases my pain.
Sure. Cool. Oopsie daisy. Do I need it up or down? Let's see if it's working. Thanks, Andrew. I'm not actually sure why Andrew... I think we need to go back to the beginning. I'm not sure why Andrew actually asked me to start, because I don't have any special R skills. I don't have any special web development skills. I've got no special analytical skills, actually. So this is, if anything, a lesson in how RStudio and RMarkdown are enabling those who don't have the skills required to what they need to do. Or want to do. What I am good at is inflicting pain on healthy people and measuring pain in unhealthy people. And in particular, I pay attention to a form of chronic pain called neuropathic pain. So that's pain that's caused by damage to nerve endings. So people have diabetes, HIV, chemotherapy, they'll get damage to their nerves and they might get pain associated with that. Now the thing about chronic neuropathic pain is that it's one, more difficult to treat than most other types of chronic pain, and two, you can't just pop an aspirin. If you're South African, you take a Myprodol to get most pains away. If you're in the US, you probably take an Oxy. This doesn't respond to those sort of tablets. In fact, you have to use antidepressants and you have anticonvulsants. So anti-epileptics and antidepressants work better with this sort of pain. A few years ago, I helped out an international organization look at where these sort of medicines are available in developing countries and how many of these classes of medicines are available in developing countries, and found that there's actually an inadequate supply of these medicines. And this is where you find most of the neuropathic pain is in indigent individuals. So the goal was to develop an application to the WHO, the World Health Organization, to get some extra drugs to treat neuropathic pain on their essential medicines list. And that informs governments what drugs they should be providing to their citizens. Now, I use R, but I'm a functional user, nothing special. I do a little bit of Markdown. But I was intrigued with the fact that you have such a wide variety of possibilities in terms of outputs using R Markdown. And in particular, I was interested in the ability to produce web content and as well as PDF reports. So the first place I'll start is I wanted to create a storyboard. I wanted to create a background that people could go online, they could find a story about why you need to treat neuropathic pain. What's the extent of the problem? So I Googled it, found Flex dashboard, found HTML widgets, worked through the straight boilerplate that comes essentially from RStudio, added in a few extra things about I put it as a storyboard, I added on some social media things so people could distribute it, and I didn't want my HTML widgets going up to GitHub, so I put them in a Dropbox, which could then be used from there. And this is what I essentially ended up with. I've got no web development sort of things, nothing. For somebody who has no idea what they're doing, I've got some pretty pictures, it seems to flow, and there's all sorts of HTML widgets out there. So even somebody who doesn't really know what they're doing can actually create something that's quite good. Oh, well, at least I thought it was. I don't know if it is. But it seemed to work. It was high tech for somebody in the pain field, put it that way. The next thing was how to create the report. Now, this was a bit more tricky because whoever invented LaTeX was just out there to torture people. But to have a good typeset report, I wanted to do it in LaTeX and have a nice structure. So first, lots of time on Stack Exchange, the tech part of it, developing a template. Once I had my template though, it was very easy to just type away in Markdown and you end up with quite a clean document. Cover page, nice clickable TOC layout, bringing in external images as well as you can, through code chunks, generate your own images and put them in there. The hard thing is tables. All I knew about was cable from the knitr package, which doesn't do anything sophisticated with tables. But along the way, I then learned about Panda package, which does a bit more tabling. Then the Xtable package, which you can really do some nice things with. And also now I've also learned about the ztable package. So if you introduce if you're interested in tables which don't have just a very basic structure, and this is probably about the simplest table I had in the whole document, you can get very sophisticated tables even if you are working in Markdown. And finally, what's important for the scientific point of view is the reference list at the end. But what's really nice about this is the ability to work it into a shareable format. So through using RStudio, you can put it up to GitHub. You can also put it on Figshare, the data. So I put all the code there, and I was quite impressed myself. I took about a whole month, but I made a makefile so people could generate the document themselves. I put the data on Figshare. This was before there was good integration between Figshare and GitHub. Now you just sync the two, and you put some metadata, and Figshare then mirrors your GitHub repository. You can do the same thing with Zenodo as well. So if anything else, if you want to speak to me about afterwards, if you also got no idea how to use these things, please come speak to me, and I'll point you to the web page where you need to go. Okay.